we have Brother Thomas Chu, who will be sharing with us a really key component of the medical mission at Tzu Chi, which is the Silent Mentor Program. Please welcome Brother Chu to share with us. Thank you.
亲爱的上人，君社师父，早安。Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas Chu. Some of you might not know the term silent mentor. I'm sorry. Okay. Some of you might not know the term silent mentor. In Tzu Chi, we refer to a person who donates his or her body for medical education as a silent mentor. This term is used to honor donors who use their body to teach medicine. Is someone try to take over the control?
Brother Chu, you should still be able to control it because we're all viewing your screen right now. So you may have to click back onto the PowerPoint. There you go.
Okay, sorry about that again. Most people choose to be buried with their body, intact or cremated after death. People are usually just following their tradition or their religion belief. So now too many people consider donating their body for medical education. This is a very difficult situation for medical education. It was same in Taiwan before 1995. Mrs. Hui Mingling was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer in 1994. She initially wanted to donate all her organs after the death. However, her doctor told her that all of her organs had deteriorated sharply and were not suitable for organ transplant. Mrs. Lin was depressed for a while. Then she came up with a new idea, which was to donate her body for medical education. She made a phone call to Tzu Chi Medical College with this idea, which could benefit even more people. The president of the university was surprised by the phone call, and of course, he was happy to implement this idea. Of course, all her family members was against this idea at first, but at the end, they all respect her decision. Mrs. Lin passed away in the beginning of 1995. She became the first donor for Tzu Chi Medical School. After Mrs. Lin passed away, the founder of Tzu Chi, Dharma Master Zheng Yan, started to share Mrs. Lin's story when she do the monthly visits to the Tzu Chi office around Taiwan. The public began gradually to accept the concept and understand why they could do the body donation. By September 1996, the number of donors were much more than the needed for the first gross anatomy class in Tzu Chi Medical School. Because of that, only 4 students share one silent mentor. This was compared to other schools. That was average more than 20 to 1. Let's talk about this number. You see, as of September 24, total number of signed consents to donate their body is more than 40,000. 3 of those numbers are 352 silent mentors for gross anatomy, and and 631 for the operation simulation silent mentor. 3 anatomy programs has been developed in Tzu Chi Medical School. The first one is the gross anatomy, which is for the 3rd-year med school students. They're not just learning the gross anatomy, they also have to do the pathological analysis for the silent mentor. That's because they have to prepare the next course. They call the, I don't know exactly the name, but the content should be the pathological discussion of their silent mentor. The second one is the pathological anatomy, and the third one is the clinical anatomy and operation simulation. The operation simulation is the Tzu Chi innovation. All right, we rapidly freeze the body to minus 30 degrees Celsius without embalming. Then 3 days before the simulation lab, we take the body out of the freezers and let the body return to room temperature. At this time, if you touch the body, it would just like you touch a normal person without vital sign. The body can remain like that for 5 days. Within these 5 days, many simulation operations can be performed. Initially, this program was just for our medical school students. However, in 2010, the Simulation Operation Medical Center has opened to other medical school, the other organization, medical organization or association for same training purpose. Because all our resources are from public, include the funding and bodies. So we believe we take it from the body, we should use it for the people. I'm sorry, we take it from the people, we should use it for people. That's why it's free to the other organization. Okay, after now, let's talk about TIMA now. After all, this is TIMA event. We have to talk about TIMA. The legacy of some TIMA members who became silent mentors. The first one is Dr. Qiu Zhaorong. Dr. Qiu was the first Tzu Chi doctor to donate her body to enhance medical education. Her life goal was to serve those people in need. Making money was never in her mind. Therefore, after she graduated from the medical school, she immediately went to the poor and the underdeveloped eastern part of Taiwan to practice. She joined the Tzu Hualien Hospital first. Later, Tzu Guanshan Hospital became established. She transferred to Guanshan Hospital. Most of her patients were Aboriginal Taiwanese. They would not go to the hospital even they were very sick. So she decided to provide home visit services for them. Since then, Dr. Chu has forged a very strong bonding between herself and her patients. You see that all her patients, is from remote area. They will not go to her office or hospital. That's why she did a home visit for them. But before, she passed away, all her patients visit her in the hospital and sing for her. All right, they call her the Gina, all right, which means in their language means mother. The next one is Dr. Huizhu Lin. She's my beloved wife. Well, she also was the first Tzu volunteer got into the ground zero after 9/11 attack. Most people, in Tzu, there are 8 paths you can walk on, like, charity, medicine, education, and humanism, so on. Well, you probably assume she's joined Tzu by doing, medicine. Actually, she started with charity work with Tzu in 1995. 1995 also was the year Tzu New Jersey office was established. With her help, a lot of charity program was set up in New Jersey. She also became a part of disaster relief team. She helped distribute food, money, and supplies for 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, and the other relief missions. Dr. Lin was first Tzu member, like I mentioned before, got into ground zero after 9/11. She has been with Tzu in 13 different countries. Well, although she was most of the time she stayed in United States, but every summer she would went back to the Taiwan, help the student in Tzu University to run the camp called the Happy and Healthy Camp. And when she was sick, students visited her in the hospital. And also, Dharma Master Zheng Yan also went to the hospital, give her the vaccine. And Master Derming, CEO Dr. Lin Junrong, Mrs. Lin, and Sister Guo also went to see her. Next, we talk about Dr. Cai. Dr. Cai Zhongxian. Dr. Cai suffered from polio, but he never complained about that. Even with his illness, Dr. Cai worked hard to become a dentist. In September 21st of 1999, there was a major earthquake in Taiwan. He decided to join TIMA to do the free clinic in remote area. In order to do that, Dr. Cai would only work 4 days in his office And the rest of the time, he would go to remote area to provide service for the people in need. Dr. Chai traveled with Tima 6 times to do overseas free clinics. His free clinics journey on crutches covered over 320 kilometers. This is a picture took in Sri Lanka of the tsunami over there, and I believe the right lower corner is in China. All right, the fourth one is Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee has practiced medicine for 50 years. He was the first team member in southern Taiwan. He's a general surgeon. After he retired in 2009, he heard that there was a need for a surgeon in a remote small town called Yuli. He decided to join Tzu Yuli Hospital to provide service to local people. He treats patients 4 days a week in hospital, and he will save one afternoon for local home visit service. In 2011, he was diagnosed with metastatic lung cancer. However, he continued to provide the same services until May of 2017. At the time, the cancer cells has spread to his brain. Although he was terminal ill, he still had 3 remaining wishes. The first one is to see his home visit patients one more time. The second one was to meet Dharma Master Deng Yan. And one more time, the third one was donate his body to Tzu Chi Medical School. The first wish is kind of difficult for him under his medical condition. However, the team member in Kaohsiung and Pingtung area, with their help, you can see he was sitting on the wheelchair. They help him to fulfill his wish. And the left lower picture, he was telling his patient, his brother, another Dr. Lee will take over his job to take care of them. All right, I want to share one very classic quote from silent mentor, Mr. Lee. He says, "I'd rather you make 1,000 inaccurate cuts on my body than make one mistake on a patient." This is before he passed away. He was in the hospice in Tzu Chi Hospital. He talked to the patient and talked to the nurse, about that. All right, Professor Zheng Guofan. Other than Dharma Master Deng Yan, I think he's probably the important person for this program, the Silent Mentor program. Here is his quote. "I have been teaching anatomy with my mouth for the whole life, yet I'm going to teach my last classes with my body." Tzu Chi Silent Mentor program has integrated science, religions, and humanism all together. I want to show you a video which will demonstrate that.
founder of Tzu Foundation, Dharma Master Zheng Yan, took the lead in promoting body donation for medical education in Taiwan, with the aim of nurturing loving, humane doctors.
我觉得就从我们的课程要面对大体老师开始，就是一个很重要的。
Our anatomy classes start with guiding students to show respect to their silent mentors. That's a very important start because the silent mentors are no longer alive, so when we're rude to them, they won't complain. If the students can treat someone who is no longer alive with gratitude, respect, and love, and even feel for him when they make incisions on him, I'm sure they will become good doctors in the future.
This is a prayer service held in honor of body donors before the start of the anatomy course at Tzu University. In fact, at Master Zheng Yan's request, many unprecedented steps have been taken to show respect to body donors and their families. Once we know a body donor is about to pass on, Tzu volunteers will contact the donor's family. And when the body is being escorted to our university, the volunteers will be there with the family throughout the whole time and explain to them everything they need to know. Then, before the anatomy course, our students will visit the donors' families to learn more about the donors. And when the anatomy course ends, we'll invite the body donors' families to attend the funeral and the memorial service after that. I think this is how we're different from other medical schools.
Our students will visit their silent mentors' families to see where they lived and to learn the bits and pieces of their lives. After they have learned about the donors' lives from their families, when the anatomy classes start, they will feel like they already knew the donors and treat them as their own families. During their visits, they may see how grieved the donors' families are at the loss of their loved ones, and that's exactly what we want them to experience, so that when they become doctors, they will be able to put themselves in the shoes of their patients and the patient's family.
At the end of the anatomy course, the medical students carefully suture the bodies. In medical education, this is also a pioneering practice. The training I had didn't include suturing bodies. After the bodies were used, they were simply cremated. But after I started teaching anatomy at Tzu University, suturing bodies was included. This idea actually comes from Tzu's emphasis on respecting life. I think that since the body donors have given us their bodies intact, we should also return them intact. That is the main reason for suturing the bodies. The funeral begins at dawn. Neatly clad in their uniforms, the students and Tzu members respectfully bid the silent mentors farewell. To express their sincere gratitude, every student has also written a letter to their silent mentors. When I was a medical student at Tzu University, I remember that at the end of the anatomy course, we were asked to write a thank you letter to our silent mentors. At the time, we didn't understand why we had to do that, and we felt it was unnecessary, so we were reluctant to do it. However, when we really settled down to write, we were surprised to find that we actually had so much to say to the body donors, and we were full of gratitude to them. I think this is because we had carefully reflected on everything that happened during the semester, and so we had come to realize that it was because of the body donors and the support of so many people, such as Tzu volunteers, that we were able to learn so much. The founder.
This picture was taken at the Memorial Hall for Silent Mentor in Tzu University. You can see even after 4 years, Dr. Lin's students are still writing notes to her. This particular one is to inform Dr. Lin the student has passed the board exam. She just wants to share her happiness with Dr. Lin. Thank you. This concludes my sharing.